once you walked off college football, you're done, right? Or if you're in the NFL and you just contracts up, you're done. You know, in powerlifting, there's always a up way to stay around. You know, you're keeping your training within a certain parameter as far as how hard you're going to be able to push things, because you don't want to get hurt for work, right?
Yeah,
right.
Because if I get, here's the thing: is if I get a catastrophic injury, and I tell everyone at my boss at the Marines, they're not gonna it's not gonna be like, oh, it's fine, just you got insurance and recover. No, they're gonna be pissed. Like if you're in the military and you hurt yourself doing something non-work related, like at least in the Marine Corps, that's not they're not going to be just fine with that, So it's like, I have to be careful, because if I hurt myself, I don't know what could happen, but it's not going to be a fun talk with the boss, if it's like, oh, I tore my quads straight off the bone. He's like, oh, so you're going to be out 6 months, huh? And then you don't know what that's going to come to, but yeah, I'm not.
How often does that play out in your head training for a meet?
I don't think about them. Like I said, I know you don't dwell on it, right? But there's going to be certain times where because you're basing your training on a projected RPE, right? That's a good way to look at it, right? Because it's a projected thing. Yeah.
So you're going to obviously go on the lowest projection you possibly can. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah. I mean, there's been a few times during all the preps where I had a number in mind, but I knew realistically, it wasn't going to be there. And I was like, that's kind of an ego check, because to be able to tell yourself, hey man, it's not there today, I have to tone it back. Obviously, is that the best thing to do? No, but it's better than me potentially getting hurt, me overshooting, or a combination of both, just tanking my CNS because I fail a lift, or possibly tweaking something because I know I didn't have any business doing that weight, because things weren't feeling great warming up, or my muscles weren't firing, or just for some reason it just didn't feel right. I just kind of trust my gut sometimes and just say, you know what, I'm not gonna do what I had in my head to do, but I'll do whatever I can, the next best thing below that.
How often have you had minor tweaks on anything?
The only muscle I've ever tweaked is my quad. Well, my pec minors felt tight at times, but I've never strained it or anything. And in my quad, it was mainly a year and a half ago when my shifting was really bad. The knee cave you saw, that used to be way worse, to the point where I tried to push out of the hole and it felt like I was only squatting with my left leg, because my right leg would cave so much. So I had a few, 1 to 2 times I would feel a little tinge in my quad, but within 2 to 3 days it was gone. So it wasn't like anything, but that was just because literally I was basically squatting on one leg because I just couldn't stabilize my right side. And
so it's safe to say the strategy that you're using is working.
Yeah, I mean, because I believe, another 4 or 5 years I could keep getting stronger and pushing competitively. Because I don't want to wait till I'm past that point where I should be hanging it up. Realistically, I don't know when that is, but I'll kind of know. I think just.
How do you think you're gonna know? Everybody says this fucking shit. I mean, nobody knows.
I kind of, like I said, I already know from football. That was more of how I was feeling. I wasn't beat up yet from football because I was only 19. But this is the hard part, is you'll never truly be satisfied till you're fully done and you can't do it anymore. But once I break a few totals, and then obviously keep pushing the deadlift up to a point, it's there's only marginal. If I realize I just have a few marginal things and I'm just is it really worth prepping 3, 4, 5 months and doing all the things I need to just to put an extra 2-3 pounds on a lift, and in that not even is guaranteed? At that point, it's kind of after a year or two of that, I'll be okay, maybe I might put 5 pounds this year, maybe, and I've already done this, and this. Do I really need to push? Do I really need to cement myself anymore, or am I just fine where I'm at? And it's that's what I'm thinking in my head is when I get to a point where I've done all the things, I kind of, like I said, the total, I've already broke the deadlift in 3 different weight classes. I'm anticipating pulling 500 kg. Once I do that and break a few totals, and then 3, 4, 5 years, I just continue to come back and get them a few times. After that, I don't really know what is there really left to do after that. What is there that I can do that can really further cement myself, you know?
What drives you more, the world records or just personal records?
I'd say it's
No, I'm sorry. What drives you more, like the personal records or winning?
it's the winning. That's like, I don't want to get into matchups, like compete against the best. Cause like I said, that's the funnest meets is, like I said, the pro, when I compete against Zach, even though I lost, like knowing I was competing against the best 275er in the world who owns the total record. Like, you know, and this last meet was great, but that's why, you know, like the competition of the meets matter to an extent to me, because it's more exciting too when you're up against bigger guys. You know, there's a lot more excitement, things that can happen. You know, a lot more people are gunning for, I don't know, the dots or the total or whatever. Yeah, you know, it's just about winning to me, because winning this long, continuing this pace and also continually winning. And I guess part of that is continue to set records too, but like they go hand in hand, you know. As I get more, my total gets more defined, I know I'll start winning more because I'll finally connect the dots, like the squat and the bench with the deadlift.
Well, the reason I'm asking this is there's, you know, people that are in this for a long period of time it's always easy to find it's always easy to find a reason to stay. Right.
Yeah. You can always convince yourself.
Yeah. In other sports, football or whatever, when you're done, you're done. Like once you walked off college football, you're fucking done.
You're not ever doing it.
You might play in the backyard somewhere, but you're done. Yeah. Right. Or if you're in the NFL and you just contracts up, you're done. You know, in powerlifting, there's always a fucked up way to stay around. Yeah. Right. So let's say right now it's pushing for, you know, the all-time total record. Mm-hmm. Right. And then if that gets to this really weird place where that's probably not a possibility, but I can still keep hitting deadlift world records, then that can skip to, you know what, I can keep hitting deadlift world records in a submasters category. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It can keep going and going and going. Yeah. Is your plan to avoid that? Yeah.
Once I'm done competing in open, I don't think by then I'll really, my body, like, I say that now, but I don't see myself doing that, because once I'm done.
What's on record now? Huh? Because you just said it, so it's on record now.
Yeah, like because once I do all I want to do, like I said, the next 4 or 5 years, whatever, I don't think I'll really have the itch to come back like 5-10 years later when I'm a master's, because it's just different tiers, you know, like it's kind of like sub-teen, teen, junior, sub-master, master, then whatever even comes after that. So I don't think if whatever I did masters, it would never live up to what I did in my mind in open. Because like I said, masters in a way is a smaller pool compared to open. And obviously, in my opinion, it seems like a lot of people, obviously there's plenty of people who are doing it 20, 30 years, but a lot of people just start later. So they don't have the mileage on their body who compete. And I feel like I'll have pretty good mileage by the time I'm 40. You know, I mean, I feel like I'm going to stay healthy and stuff, but I don't know if I could still do it anyway, but I don't think I'd even want to, because what do I have to prove at that point, you know? I don't think, like, doing anything in masters would really give me any fulfillment, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's